Shelley Long just saying the name Byron is enough to make me happy. This happens in Jealousy, the 7th episode of Kelly Kelly. It is the final episode of Kelly Kelly. Are we ending on a high? I'd say so. After a slow start, things really picked up and I really thoroughly enjoyed this. There are two parts to the narrative. I'll talk about them briefly. I won't go into too much detail, but there may be some spoilers, and I'll talk about the subplot first and then the main narrative involving Kelly and Doug. And the subplot involves the fact that Sean has a campaign for class president and he's thinking about leaving a legacy and what this could be. I didn't mind how that played out. I thought there was some good food for thought, particularly if anybody watching it is in a similar position as Sean and they are actually thinking of running for class president. So I think that played out quite well. Maybe it could have had a tiny bit more focus. Not that I'm complaining that most of the focus was on Kelly, because that meant we got a lot of Shelley Long, and for the last episode, I'm rather happy about that. But I think they could have maybe done a tiny bit more with that. But nevertheless, it wasn't too bad. The main narrative does, however, focus on Kelly and Doug. And Kelly is doing some work with, well, her former lover at the university library. And this is where the mention of Byron comes in. She says that she's going to bring the Byron collection, which made me very, very happy. And Doug is, well, as the title suggests, Doug is jealous. He's concerned that something will happen between Kelly and her former flame, so he takes drastic action. And we have some interesting messages here about trust, about how not to handle jealousy, and about the importance of communication. And it does seem very early on in Kelly Kelly for the characters to be not necessarily trusting one another. Maybe it's realistic, but usually since they've just married not that long ago, it still feels like we're in the honeymoon period. And I feel like this kind of narrative should come later on in the show. Obviously, we don't get any more than this. This is the end of the show, unfortunately. But it did seem quite soon. But as I said, maybe that's actually realistic. Did I enjoy the episode? Yes, I did. Is that because Shelley Long mentioned Byron? Only slightly. The rest of it was playing out really well. The university library aspect of it made my heart sing. We have a lot of literary references, and Kelly, therefore Shelley Long, carrying books. All of these things make me very excited. So not a bad finale. I think it addresses some important topics, and I think it handles them really well. Am I upset that it's over? Yes, I am, to an extent. I'm also watching Good Advice, which is another Shelley Long sitcom, and I have to say Good Advice is more enjoyable. If I were to compare the two, Good Advice is a stronger show than Kelly Kelly, so I still have the entirety, actually. I start season 2 next week. The entirety of Good Advice season 2, which means a decent amount of Shelley Long left, but not enough by my books. But either way, Kelly Kelly has been an absolute delight. I'm really glad that I was able to watch it. The quality of the copies have not been that great. You probably can see on the screen just now, if you're looking, that the screenshots are kind of fuzzy, but not bad. Better than not being able to see it at all. It's not bad as a series. Jealousy is not a bad end to the first and only season of Kelly Kelly.